Welcome to this 2012 GLIAC preview of the Ohio Dominican Football Panthers. This is Todd Bell, and joining us now is the head football coach of ODU, Coach Bill Conley. Going into the 2012 season, I know there's a lot of excitement, and really it's building off of the 2011 season, finishing at 7-4, winning 5 of the last 6 games to end the campaign, really help the momentum in the offseason and leading here into 2012.
Hey, it really did, Todd, and we had a good spring practice. We had a good spring game, good attendance and things like that. Everybody in the community is really fired up, and the kids, of course, they've been working hard this summer, lifting and running and doing the things you have to do to prepare yourself. So, they're very confident, and they're getting a little bigger, a little faster, a little stronger. But I tell you, the GLIAC is such a tough conference. You have to be ready to go not only every week, not only every game, but every play, because it's such a well-balanced league.
And the league will look a little bit different to the fans this year, and especially here for those of us in the South, where Ohio Dominican resides in terms of the standings, with the additions of Walsh University, Malone University, Notre Dame College, Ward Place, University of Indianapolis as an affiliate member. Those are all 3 going to be teams that are going to be on the schedule this year. So it's a new look GLIAC this year with 16 teams. Exactly
right. And the thing I really like about it really gives the parents of the players and our fans a chance to go to practically every game. Maybe 2 hours is the max we're going to have to drive for a game within inside the state of Ohio. So the Southern Division of the conference really is an Ohio division, and really it gives you a lot of rivalries there, and a lot of kids have played with and against a lot of other players from other schools. You have to be ready when you cross that border, though. When you go up there and you got to play Hillsdale and Grand Valley and those teams, you better bring an A game.
And that is portion of the non-conference part of the schedule will open up at home against Virginia Lynchburg on September the 1st, but then those crossover games, return trip to Hillsdale, Northern Michigan comes here, and then go to Grand Valley for the first time.
Right. We're excited about that because we're playing 2 teams we haven't played yet. Northern, again, fortunately comes down here. Then Grand Valley, that experience up there, everybody that we've talked to that played up there said that is really the atmosphere that you want to play in. And, of course, they'll be fired up. They've got a great program every year. They're one of the teams talked about as being, in contention for the national championship. So, hopefully we can play, 4 good quarters and be in there, late in the game and maybe have a chance.
We take a look at this year's Panthers offensive line, pretty much intact. You will make one change there, but it was a player that played a lot on the offensive line, so that's the good. On the flip side, replacing virtually everybody in the skilled positions, so there's going to be some new faces this year.
That's right, and especially at the quarterback spot, because Jeremy Fudge graduated, so we've got to replace the starting quarterback spot. Mike Knopfsinger graduated, great running back, so we've got to replace him. We have a couple wide receivers back, and our depth has been decent at that position, and they're obviously more talented than what they've been. So, we have high hopes we can, make some real headway with our skilled athletes, but again, gives you a huge advantage when your offensive line is back intact. Those guys communicate well. They really play with a lot of confidence, and, they're really the leaders there because that's where experience is at.
On the defensive side, really thought that was a huge part of the second half of the year. They kind of gelled, came together as a unit, picked up the takeaways in terms of the turnovers, made some big plays as we saw in the Hillsdale game. Pretty cohesive unit. Then a lot of those guys returned for 2012.
Right, and up front, we're finally bigger and taller than we've been, and a little faster. So we've got some kids there that doesn't have a lot of experience, but they're led by Eli Kovac, who is a returning captain. And, he's the guy that will get them lined up and doing the right things. At the linebacker spot, that's a situation where we have our returning middle linebacker, but a couple other guys will be new in there. The secondary is probably, as a unit, the most unified group we've had back there, who've played, a lot of them since they were true freshmen.
Yeah, Justin Bell's been great at that cornerback. Seems like the ball just finds him out there on the field. Special teams is going to be your area of concern this year. The return game should be in pretty good shape. Some guys coming back from last year and that. But kicking the football is going to be a little bit different this year, as you won't have a player in camp who's kicked a ball in a college football game.
Exactly right. Chris Vorkamp did everything last year. He was our punter, he was our place kicker, and he was really an all-around outstanding specialist. This year we have to find, and it will be a true freshman, will be our starting kicker, and we have about 4 guys competing for that spot and as August camp starts. So it's going to be interesting to see who emerges. Punt-wise, we also, it's wide open. We do have Mike Snyder come back, who was with us last year, and there's a good chance he could be our punter. But, we got a lot of guys who want to win that spot. Fortunately, we do have our long snapper and Tyler Hayes returning.
You mentioned the word depth a couple of times. That was your biggest area of concern when you took over this program. You've been able to build that depth up now. This is the 3rd year for this staff and being in Division II.
Yeah, you like to have what we call a pair and a spare, which you mean like 3 guards, 3 tackles, 3 defensive ends, for example. So we're getting to that point where we've got some decent depth, exactly. But as you well know, Todd, in one snap you could be down the second team, the next snap you're down the third team. So the key is having the guys below the first unit being able to step in and know what to do and execute nearly as good as the guys in front of them.
When you took over this program, you had some pretty lofty goals for this team, and they remain the same every year.
Right.
There's a nice little pattern that you have for your goals. What about the expectations of the goals, though? I mean, that last goal is win national championship your first year. You probably didn't believe you were going to win a national championship. What about the expectations, those of meeting some of those goals that are way up on that tree?
Well, first of all, you start off with confidence of your football team, and our kids are confident. And, we got to be to the point, I think, and we'll find out early, to the point that we really fear no one. We have kind of a philosophy is we respect everyone but fear no one. And, right now, when our kids, I think because of the cohesiveness, they really have worked so hard that they believe they're going to be in every battle. But again, it's so competitive in the GLIAC, and you got to take it, one game at a time. And hopefully, if things go well, we'll have a chance to compete, in the near future for a playoff spot. But that could be this year, that could be 2, 3, 4 years. Depends on how the personality of that team develops. Because I've said this many, many times, that each year, each team you coach has a different personality. And you never know how they're going to respond until they're in the heat of battle.
Yeah. What are you looking forward to most here in the 2012 season?
Oh, I think the maturity of our players, because now we've had these kids for 3 years. This will be a third season, a lot of them, and they should be playing their best football. And I'm just so proud of them because they do a good job in the classroom also. We were a highly decorated Division II school last year, and they've really carried that over. And our players right now are great role models, not only for the other players and younger players in the team, but for really the students on campus. They are the true leaders, and I'm so proud of them for everything they've done off the field as well as on the field.
Well, Coach, thanks for your time, and best of luck here in 2012.
Thanks, Todd, and go Panthers.
Head Coach Bill Conley joining us. This has been Todd Bell. Thanks for being with us on our 2012 GLIAC preview of the Ohio Dominican Panthers.